This is the Bar Steward's Enquiry.
Right? You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
But that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that...
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
A huge warm welcome to the Bar Steward's Enquiry weekend preview, where of course it's the final day of the Royal Ascot meeting, and joining me this evening to go through the cards, chew the fat and give best bets are John Lang, Andy Richmond and Nick Davis. Good evening, chaps.
Good evening.
Yes, pleasure to have you on the show, and we hope we can improve our record of this week. I think all four of us have been hitting a few crossbars, so it would be nice to get Lady Luck on side, certainly for our best bets round anyway, and make sure that you keep on listening. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So going on to the best bets round, this is 1 and 2 and 3 points. So 1 point. I'll come to you, Nick Davis, first of all, for your 1 point selection.
Right, I don't think this Jubilee is a great race. And I'm tending towards the foreign raiders. What I want to do is, if I'm right, I'm right. I'm going to have a reverse forecast Artorius and Wellington, the foreign raiders. I mean, Highfield Princess, is she the filly we know last year? Maybe not, and maybe over 6. But I will go with the foreign raiders to kick us off in a reverse forecast.
So that's in the Jubilee. Obviously, you're not interested in terms of Highfield Princess, Nick, coming off the 4-day absence to do the biz. But you like the foreign raiders there in an admittedly weak-looking renewal. So,
foreign sprinters are usually better than ours, aren't they?
Yeah. So 340 Ascot, that's the Jubilee. Half a point reverse forecast for Nick, Artorius and Wellington. Thank you, Nick. Andy Richmond.
Right, I just admit I didn't think Saturday's card was all out of Royal Ascot. It's quite a tough card, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot. I mean, that handicap which we'll come to at the end there's 3 in that I want to back, because they're all too short of prices. And I've listened to you guys through the week as well, and I mean, they're just shortening everything up. It's just ridiculous.
Yes, it's bent.
Just absolutely ridiculous. So I suppose he'll have the watering can out tonight. Anyhow, get on with it. I'm going to go to, eventually I've found something I think is overpriced in the Jersey. And I think I'll probably try and take on Covey in this race. I thought he had an easy run last time out when he was out in front, defying a mark of 90 in the Silver Bowl. I couldn't make my mind up about N. Jaffar. The Antarctic looked interesting, but I thought I'd come back to Jesse Arrington's, whose horses have run pretty well this week, in Croix Chamar. Back down in distance, ran very well in the 2,000 guineas, where I don't think the horse got the run of the race at all. Travelled really well, didn't get the run of the race. The form is working out quite well. I think back to 7 furlongs on what I hope he doesn't get the can out too much tonight on genuinely decent ground. I thought around, I haven't even looked at the price. I know it's double figures somewhere, but half a point each way wasn't going to do any damage, and half a point each way on Croix Chamar in the Jersey.
No, that's Croix Chamar, of course, for Patreon listeners will know that is John Lang's 3-year-old to follow for the season. So be interested later to see what John thinks. But 14 to 1, half point each way.
That could be 2 Ascot winners, couldn't it, on my list?
Could be. You have done very well this year, I've got to admit. John pointing out some belters this season already. And Croix Chamar may add to that in the Jersey, and Andy likes that for half a point each way at 4 Cs with Bet365, Paddies and Betfair.
Not sure how many places you can get, but it's probably the
4.
4, is it? It's
4 places.
Relatively generous.
Indeed. So nice selection there for Andy to start his 3 bets. Jonas?
230 at Ascot. Quentin was right when he was talking to us earlier. Count Palatine, trained by old Tramlines himself, Brian Main. What I like about this one is He's set. He's got his shape. He's all there. And he can make that shape move pretty quick, to be honest, because he's well organised. The only thing was, he was last away on his debut at Windsor in what I thought might have been a good heat. The winner, Chief Mankato, was withdrawn at the start of Ascot, so we don't know about that. But the runner-up was Inquisitive, that's placed in the Norfolk. Showed great speed here. Third home, Sky Wizard landed the odds by 2 lengths in a novice at Salisbury. The fourth horse, Denworth Diamond, landed a conditions race at St. Cloud.
Ah,
I think as far as 6 furlong form going into a Chesham goes, considering this was keeping on better than anything, I think this is quite eye-catching, to be honest.
Interesting.
He's half run at 10 winners, 3 of them in group races. Should improve considerably for the experience and the step-up-in trip. Even accounting for he was making a debut and he was badly away, he still sits thin on the adjusted top speed figures and he's 40 to 1.
He's not now. Yeah.
I'm going to play each way, but there you are.
Half a point each way, 4 places. I'm going to give you 25 to 1 available.
That's all right. That's still a bet at that.
Yeah, that's with Hills and Bet Victor. 33s with Denise, but that's a standout at the moment.
I'll just do a colouring. I've got 40s anyway.
Indeed. Good stuff, John. Nice price to kick us off with the Chesham, which we'll discuss in more detail at the end of the show. Coming on to my selection, pretty straightforward one here. Given what we saw today, chaps, it could play into a stand-side fest tomorrow on the straight course.
We love a fest.
Yeah, we love a fest. A fest.
Or is it a fist?
A fist. Fist of mule. Fist, yeah.
A fist fest, in fact.
Yeah, a fist fest. The 5 o'clock, the Wokingham is. Right, there's always a gamble in this. There's always a late gamble in this, isn't there? And I've just got the feeling it's going to be something drawn high, but I'm taking the chance. A bit obvious, really. But Aratzia was marked by several of us, really, on pods as being a bit of a machine. Laid out for this. It's only the ground you've got to sort of question mark it. If it's had a setback, would it think about the ground if it's got a niggle somewhere? Charlie Hills wouldn't know, an idiot. But anyway, I mean, he's certainly impressed on soft ground, and this is a Group 3 horse on what it's done so far, which fits nicely into the shape of this. This is a kind of like a Rohan kind of horse. Aratzio then is the bet. Stall 29. This could either go off 5 to 2, bizarrely. I've seen this happen in the Wokingham, or there might be something. They'll come for something else on the stands rail, and that'll go off 7 to 2. But yeah, Aratzio, I'm chancing 1 point win, 6 to 1, generally available. John, I'll swing it straight back round to you for the 2 point round.
Right, 8-10 at Haydock.
Yes, what a race that is.
Isn't it just?
I like it.
Now, we all saw Coppis win today, didn't we?
Yes.
Mm.
Well, earlier in the season, Joe's Rainbow wasn't beaten too far behind Coppis on a stable debut for Carl Burke. And then they took her to Ripon, where she didn't much like the track.
Yeah.
And they went handy with her, and for me, they were badgering her a bit, and she never really got in any rhythm. She's out of a Rainbow Quest mare, so she's going to stay, and the road are wrong. Now, my only worry here is the lack of pace. I'm hoping she just jumps out and makes it, because I think she'll run these stupid if she does. Point each way.
I mean, it's an interesting race, this one. Obviously, we're not going to cover it at the end of the show because it's not on TV, but there's more tracker horses in this than I mean, Pearl Eye was unlucky at Pontefract and beat a well-handicapped sort. Lily Star, I went to Leicester. I noticed a strong-bodied sort will be 75 plus. That's Rogers. That's 8 to 1. Letaba, I marked as look at the price. That 12's into 11 to 4. We bet Victor. They're ducking that one. 12's into 11 to 4. Letaba as we speak. But John, I agree with your case. Also, Joe's Rainbow is a very nice horse, and yeah, can't knock the selection. Point each way for John at 9s. That's with Denise and 888.
I think 70 is absolutely ridiculous for this horse. I think this is mid-80s.
Right. for listeners, just to put this race into context, right? Follow this race's form. Follow it. Follow it closely. This is a race you need to look at going forwards and make notes from, because I promise you there'll be winners galore out of this. This will produce a lot of winners and improvers. It's a very, very warm heat, but I like John's case at 9-1 that he's made for Joe's Rainbow. And yeah, it's one of the contenders, the serious contenders for that race. Thank you, John, for that to kick us off. Okay, I'll follow before swinging round back to Nick and Andy. A bit of an obvious one, but I thought I'd mention old dear Catherine Fry. It's her nap for the week here in the 6-10, and I agree with her. The price is getting a bit under pressure, but Dawn Rising in the Queen Alex. Who doesn't like a bet in the Queen Alex? It's the Get Out Stakes. We don't.
I like a pint in the Queen Alex.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, we don't like Dirty Willie to win with the carrots. We want one for the good guys. And Fry has backed this, and I wish her very well. I think she's got bigger than the 11-4 I'm tipping up at, but I still think 11-4 there's juice. This horse is very unexposed on the flat. I don't think it's a jumper. Obviously, JP's bought it off the lads for jumping, but I don't think it jumps very well. And I think 5 runs on the flat. It chased home Al-Azi in the Bahrain Stakes. I mean, Al-Azi's rated 117. Dawn Rising's got so much improvement to come, I think. It's just because obviously they're not arsed. They just want to jump with them. They're idiots. But this is where you end up in the Queen Alex. So I'm very confident on Dawn Rising tomorrow. I think that runs a huge race. I would have it favourite. Typewriter will want softer ground. Run for Oscar, Charles Burns. Yeah, respected. I think Vulcanate's dead. So you're just betting against the Willie Juice of Stratum.
Willie Juice?
The Willie Juice, yeah. Willie's Juice. That's all you're betting at. Spurting out all over the place. As it's sweating.
God almighty.
As it's sweating in the paddock. As it's sweating. So Dawn Rising for me, 2 winners.
Apple are on the phone now.
Yeah, absolutely. 11-4. We don't want Willie's Juice spurting all over after the Queen. Disgraceful. Okay, Andy Richmond, coming to you.
Right, you knew I was going to slip one in from the jumpers, didn't you?
Oh, of course.
You just knew it. You just knew. I'm off to Perth, yeah. The Shark has got one there. And I'm not sure this was... I think it might have been... Oh, it certainly wasn't off last time out, but I think they just ran it over too far. Man of the House, 252 at Perth. That's like a dog race. Ran at Kilbeggan last time out, was 5th of 16. Not a copper coin for it. Ran off 86. Is miles better than the Bear result. Second handicap start. Hasn't really done a lot over hurdles so far, but they've got it in handicap here. Travelled really well until probably about... This was over 3 miles, if you can believe Irish distances sometimes. The effort flattened out a bit. Back to 2.5 tomorrow. There really is nothing in this race at all. There's an Elliott one in there at the top, but that doesn't look all that. Petite Rhapsody might have won last time out, but I've seen that a million times around here, and it's a bit of a hound. Gamagin ran at Utoxeter the other day, didn't do anything. Mulligan never does anything around here. Balranald is all right at Bangor. The rest of them don't look all that. Man of the House. However, I've just because I'm just going to have a point each way on it, but I think this could be backed, and I think it might be a little bit of a plot. But if you go back and watch the race last time out, if you stop the race at 2.5 miles, it's pissed up.
I certainly will. This looks a really, really interesting bet with old Brian Hughes in the saddle as well. So Andy, are you on the nose with this?
No. Actually, yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll have 2 points on the nose. No point in bottling out. Let's go 2 points on the nose.
I think that's really wise. I do, because it's one of them that if they do go the other way, like, yeah. 2 on the nose. That's a... What can I give you? I'll be generous here because we need to catch Quentin. You're miles behind anyway because of,
Just leave it till but then I'll do him over then.
Yeah, 13-2, 888. I'm going to give Andy. That's second best price. 8's with Denise, but 13-2 is a square enough price for Andy. Cheers for that, mate.
Yeah.
For your 2-pointer, Who am I coming to next? Nick, it's you in it to finish the round.
Right then, I'm going against you in the Wokingham.
Well, you would do.
I'm going to have each way. I really, really like Juan Lepan as a sprinter. He's so consistent on faster ground. Since he escaped Ed Dunlop's Stalingrad, he's gone on better ground than good. He's gone 1-1-1, third to Summerhand, and then he won his race at Nottingham to get in here. He had needed a penalty to get in. He was off 91. He's off 96. He's £2 better off than he would be in other handicaps. So I just think he's so consistent, and I think he's an each way price to be backed that. And he's drawn quite high as well.
Yeah, that could be. I think that's really key tomorrow. I really do. You can bet you might bottom dollar Bielsa will probably try and burn off as well down Stan's Rail. That could be tactics from O'Sheen. So Juan Lepan for Nick. Could this be a rare each way bet for you? Or on
Yeah. There's usually some good terms on this race, isn't there?
Yeah, you could get
far away.
Six places, one each way at 20s. Nick, does that suit you?
That's fine.
One each way, 20s, Bet365, Paddy's Hills, Betfair for listeners at the moment of time recording. Thanks, Nick. A rare each way bet from Nick, but he likes the terms. I like his bet, to be honest. Juan Lepan is a good horse. He won very well at Nottingham last time. I was sick because I wanted to back him, Nick, at Nottingham last time, but the pace, there was no pace forecast. Literally, the only horse that ever went on was like a rag, and I just thought, oh, God. You know,
he had to win it to get in here, didn't he?
Yeah.
So
it was impressive. He did it very well. So I can't knock that selection at all, despite Nick going against me. But so if I don't win, I hope Nick wins the Wokingham. Right, best bets round, folks. It's time to get dirty. Who do I go for first? John, kick us off.
Right, I'm after the Lurkel.
Redcar.
Yeah. It's in a race sponsored by Market Trust Jewellers. My good friend Marty does the security for them. And about 2 months after he started doing the security for them, they had 2 ram raids. Nothing was recovered, and they never got the perpetrators. But Marty's been on holiday for a long time. I think he's still aware, actually. Been all over his Facebook, different places, his brain tower. He's doing like a world tour.
He's not Her Majesty's pleasure then, John?
No, I think he's just upset that he's red, you know. He's got himself away for 18 months.
Last scene on Copacabana Beach, yeah.
Briggs. The selection is Russet Gold, trained by Roger Variable. Regular listeners will know, on occasion, I hear from my Varian man, but not very often. Well, I have actually had a conversation with him about this one. And apparently, for the knackers coming off close season and the work this did in the spring, this was expected to be pattern class. And the plan was to knock off the 3-year-old Dash at Epsom. But unfortunately, the jockey nearly got knocked off at the start. It was only 11-2 for that. Apparently, he was well fancied. It honestly really fancied him to piss up there. He didn't like the track. The wheels were spinning on the loose on top ground as well. He has actually got some early when he has chance to use it. He's only had 5 starts, as I say. He was gelded in the close season. The way he ran on in the final furlong at Epsom suggests there is a lot more under the locker than what we've seen up to now. So I'd agree with the information I've had about the horse. David Egan's making the trek up north to ride him. The draw's low enough if they need to go fast ahead. I just ain't got a problem with this at 11-4.
3-1 for you.
Oh, it's even better.
888 and Bet Victor.
Good night, Hills. Put the fucking lights out.
I love the confidence. I love it when John's confident. Yeah, I love that. So it's blast off. from Trap 4. As we know, Redcar has played host to some low draw affairs, although this isn't the biggest field anyway. But yeah, I like the reason, John. 3-1 generally available for your max. Indeed. Andy, coming back to you.
Always do some nice flowers at Redcar, though. Flower arrangement's very nice.
Phil Berry, elder brother of the Berry brothers.
Very nice.
He's in charge of flowers.
Yeah, very nice.
Has he gone missing as well?
Yeah.
No, he just sells flowers after racing.
And then you go in through the graveyard.
Yeah, that's a winner, isn't it? Yeah. Selling, yeah.
Anyhow,
Nice driving, yeah.
Anyhow, cracking on. Fire up the old klaxon.
Oh wow!
Fire it up. You know where I'm going.
Asthmatic horse.
Yeah, Fry put me onto this earlier in the week, so I have measured it. I did take a chance because it wasn't a definite runner. I did have a bit of 6-1, I think, with Billy Mountains.
Boom.
And we're going with your Dawn Rising because I think you probably made the case for it already. But it don't look a herder, does it? It got pulled up in the potato race at Cheltenham. It's got some really good flat form, as you say. You've only got to beat Willies really on the carrots, and it just looks an out and out stayer. Ryan Moore on board. He'll have sealed the top jockey title by then. Just that's a bit too much class for the likes of Stratum. Run for Oscar and Falcon Elite. 3 points win. Dawn Rising. Job done.
Love it. That's 11-4, the same price that I've tipped you up. So that's the Klaxon bet. Love it, Andy. Before we come to Nick for the finale, for the pièce de résistance of Nick Davis's fancies for the Saturday, the 3 points of them goes in the jersey. Very confident on this, and I don't understand why it's not Fav. I'm that confident. It's the Roger Variable trained Olivia Meralda. How on earth? This was put in at 10s today, and right, he's still 13-2. So, that's fine. I'm still happy at that. That's how much value I think is in this bet. This is incredible. The fact that she gets weight, and by the way, fillies have won this. It's not a problem. There's been 2 fillies win this previous. I love the allowance that the fillies get in this. And it's not a great race. You've got Covey that's rated 100, that won a handicap off the front end at Haddock that was suiting the bias. That it needs taking on has already been said on this show.
Well, that's
so
far. That's just Frank. They've just shortened every Frankie horse up, haven't they? I mean,
that's a bollocks favourite if ever I've seen one. the Antarctic, right? That would have got beaten another half a yard last time out at Nars. So I think the 112 rated is bollocks. It's complete bollocks. Jar, I've had negative reports this evening from the Varian Yard. Might not run. They really, and this is a good contact, so I trust it. And they've been right on a lot of things. So forget Jar. Then you go into the domains of Holloway Boy, Mysterious Night, Quashamar. Obviously respect Andy and obviously John's choice. I do respect that, but look at the form of Olivia Meralda, right? So we've got a horse that got beat 3/4 of lengths by Meditate last year. She doesn't handle soft ground. That's quite patent. She was 7th in the Guineas. She pissed all over Holguin, which is a very reliable yardstick. This horse, Holguin, I think is oh so reliable. And I just feel that this is just such a wrong price. I cannot have this. If this doesn't win, I'll be shocked if I'm not second. So Olivia Meralda is the bet. 3 points win, 13-2. Olivia Meralda. Thank you, Nick Davis.
You utter load of bastards! You both stolen I had a split stakes in the jersey. I don't believe it. Right, I want to take on Kobe because it's my thing. It was the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th furlong at Haydock. They went in around about just under 37 seconds. Not one horse. Only one horse that he's beaten in his 3 starts was one, and that was a novice. I couldn't wait to take this on. And I'm having 2 points Olivia Meralda and 1 point Quashamar. I don't believe it.
I don't know what that is. Foghorn, Klaxon.
It's a double Klaxon, really, isn't it? Because it's like, Quashamar's v Matt. Yeah.
It's not a million miles off a whoopee cushion, is it?
Andy, what did you...
I thought when we were chatting on Twitter today, I said to you, I'll make it between those two.
I kept it. I never said anything. I was a bastard.
The one you put me in last, bastard.
I said nothing. I just absolutely said zero. I just went.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It went past Old Gwyn like it wasn't there really.
Otherwise, he'd have been out in that little blue car, wouldn't he?
It would. It's straight around London, blasting round. But there we go. I mean, so Olivia Meralda for Nick as a split stake, a 2-point and a 1-pointer with Quashamar. Like it. Have we got 3 Klaxons? Quashamar and Dawn Rising. Blame Johnny, bought me some cider. It's lovely. Lovely gin.
Was that the one you were on the other night?
Yeah. No. That was just normal session.
That was rocket fuel.
There were a couple of comments in the old Patreon group about that.
They loved it. He's how it's got. Yeah. Well, let's have another one. Fuck you, Tony Calvin. Fuck you again. Let's do it again. Fuck him. Yeah, an absolute disaster of a man that basically, as soon as the decks come out, he does a little pod and a little ditty, and he says, I'll take this. Straight after the decks come out, the bots come in, the price has just collapsed because the bots have come in on Betfair. He's a disgrace. He's like, he offers nothing to humanity. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. You offer nothing to humanity. You're an absolute waste of space. And it's said on this show. And
you've got to get him on.
Tone can come on and answer his case anytime on the sermon, anytime he wants. And we'll talk about thumbs and things. Anyway, right.
I enjoy Councillor Woodman's nostalgic trip on YouTube today. Very good.
Yes, very good for Patrick. Well, this is a free to air thing as well. So free to air. So anyone can read this. This is a great video blog of the past on Channel 4 racing and everything to do with racing. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I did think that we could name our Bar Stewards horse Two-Headed Sex Beast, as in the Alan Partridge bit.
Oh, that was the Partridge stuff is just incredible, ahead of its time. Absolutely ahead of its time. Right, on to the television races, which is the 7-race card at Ascot. We kick off with the Chesham. And I'm going to be really boring here because I know John's come up with something really good. But the Aidan O'Brien team with Pearls and Rubies, I think this is one of these solid O'Brien favs because they've ran 3 fillies in this race. 2 have won and 1's finished second.
It was good, don't
maybe won it. September won it, and Ballydoyle was second. And that's the record of the O'Brien fillies in the race. And I just thought Pearls and Rubies to win over 5, given the dam, was pretty remarkable. And I was impressed with it. John, I know you liked it, didn't you?
That was tremendously impressive.
We like to tip a bit of value, but I just felt she's the right one. She's the one that I think if someone's like putting you in gas oven and said, you go in gas oven and you got to back a winner, this would probably be it. But Matt Newt was pretty good at Windsor when finishing 3rd. That was an interesting placing. See the Stars Dan Silly Mare turning up at 6 at Windsor. So, but they've had the prices. Yeah, they've had the prices on that.
Did you like the last Dorita, John? I thought you loved that last time.
He does. Yeah.
I just think she's priced correctly. Whereas I didn't think Count Palatine had been noticed. Certainly hadn't at 40s.
Do you know where La Garida is?
Of course not. I'm not well travelled, Nick.
Oh, fucking peasant. It's a restaurant in Havana.
Have you been to Cuba, Nick?
Yeah.
Where hasn't he been?
25 years ago. It was it was when it was just opening up. They just sort of opened it up.
The Bar Stewards, Alan Wicker.
He makes Alan Wicker look fucking housebound.
And I love Nick's life. Listen, if you don't follow him on Twitter, people, it's Zilzal89. Is it Zilzal89 your Twitter handle?
Yeah, Zilzal89.
If you don't follow Nick on Twitter, he's led a fantastic life. And, you know, it might not be the most extravagant in terms of riches and beyond, but he certainly has lived a fruitful life. And so
I'll just die a pauper.
Yeah. Andy, have you anything to add on the Chesham?
The only thing I'd add is that you've already said it about Pearls and Rubies. She does look fairly strong, and they've won it with fillies, obviously. Both September and Point Lonsdale they won it with. They won it on a quick turnaround as well, which would be for Pearls and Rubies. So they obviously know what they were doing, but I'm just about to burgle some prices on Count Palatine, I think. So,
yes.
But apart from that, I must admit I've stayed away from nearly all the 2-year-old races this week, apart from a punt on Malk, which I owe John a couple of pints for.
Yeah, I feel a bit for you all this. Well, everyone this week that's back in loads of seconds. I'm sure there's a list of us, but John, Andy, Nick have certainly suffered in terms of second places. So the jersey me, Nick, and Andy have covered in terms of taking on the 5. So we want to know where John stands on the jersey.
Basically, I'm in the Quashimar camp. I wish they'd come here instead of the Irish Guineas, to be honest. If they'd come straight here, I'd have been really excited, to be honest. I thought the Irish Guineas was the wrong race for him, really. But that said, he quitted himself pretty damn well, I thought. Because he had that awful position tracking the leader on the rail where you're always just going at it a bit to maintain. And I think that ran a bit of the finish out with. I think if they can get him switched off early, the first couple of furlongs there, he just drops it and just travels. I think he's an absolute danger to everything. And I certainly think he's still a bit of value in places as well, you know. I do respect Olivia Maralda. I think the price is nearly right. There's maybe still just a tad of juice in that as well. I don't like the front two, I'll be honest.
Yeah, don't you think as well? I think the 3-year-old filly. I'm going to ask all of you here. Don't you think the 3-year-old fillies are better than the colts?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Because look at you look at Chaldine, you look at the Guineas form, but then you look at Tahira, and I think the fillies again, for some reason, are just proving that bit better. And that's why I'm so keen on Olivia as well. And for Andy's and John's selection, John's 3-year-old Quashimar, drawn 12 and 15, the pair. That might be an advantage tomorrow towards that stand side. So I think we're pretty confident on the jersey. I think we can nail this jersey between us. Hopefully we do.
Might do a couple of cards as well.
Yeah.
Greedy, the casting.
We have to play the high draws, and that's why in coming on to the 340, the Jubilee, that's why I'm really keen on I Feel Princess, because trap 16, yes please, Josephine. 4 days off, I know people say, but I trust John Quinn. I think, and she's the sort of battle-hardened, hardy horse, really, isn't she? She likes a war, she likes a battle. She's done it over time. And that was my selection in the race. I know, Nick, you've gone the reverse forecast on the old foreign angle. Basically, foreign sprinters are better than ours. But I'm not so sure, because I just think the two that are Artorius and Wellington, I don't think are top class.
Right, now what I based it on is Tim Carroll made an interesting thing why he fancied some of these this year over 6. He said, when I have a look at our foreign raiders at Royal Ascot, he said, I always look for ones that stay a bit further, and these two do.
No, it's fair enough, like over the 6. John, Andy?
I'm going to have a very small bet on an old favourite of mine, a horse that has never done me, well, it's done me a load of favours in the past, the Rohan. I know he's got to bounce back from a poor run last time out, but that was a bit of a float up, wasn't it? And nice to see Adam Kirby actually getting a ride. He rode a winner at Lingfield the other night, and I believe he's had problems with his weight, etc. this year.
Yeah, he's probably had to go eat sauna to get down to 9.5, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So I quite like Rohan. You know, it's a horse who, a cliche time, owes me nothing because he was a big, you know, a couple of seasons ago when he ran all the, you know, he went right through the handicap, didn't he? And then he couldn't run in the King's Stand because he hadn't got any gonads. But I think he's got a reasonable chance here. It's not a race I'm going to go overboard about, but I think 10's a reasonable chance. Wellington, the King Kong horse, has never run away from Chartin. He always runs around. Never run anywhere else. This would be strange. I think the Australian horse, Taurus, he was third last year. Probably got a reasonable chance. Kinross wouldn't fancy that from stall 1 or on the ground. Sacred, I think, probably needs 7 furlongs.
Yeah,
I think Rohan's got an art power. It's just a horse I've never been able to work out. So don't even go there. I think
the Curragh, Thick Dave, and soft ground art power.
Yeah. I think if you can get 10 to 1 Rohan, it's not the worst small play in the world. But it would be it.
Good stuff. Right, we move on to the 420, which is the Hardwicke, and there's a lot of doubts about the participation about Wokingham, John. Is it Wokingham don't run Wokingham?
It might be, yeah. I think they'll run him, you know. They'll put a bit on tonight, and I can't see him not running him, to be honest.
What's your opinion on the race?
I think Wookingham's probably got Jubilee Legend to beat. I think that's the good lurker.
What about the mare?
Bollocks to the mare. I'm sick of Towser and I'm sick of Frankie this way. We're getting having tits, to be honest.
Sermon should be good Sunday. We should have some, we've got plenty of TV coverage, ammo. So, yeah,
she looked a bit squawky at York, I thought, and I don't think she's necessarily going to come back to her previous best. I think she's well below her best at York. I agree. And
even the Rogue Millennium won earlier this week.
Yeah. I mean, that was dropping down in chip and all sorts of shit going on there, you know. This Jubilee Legend hasn't done a lot wrong, you know. Least of all when fourth in the sodding Melbourne Cup as a 3-year-old, you know. That's not a bad shout, is it?
Bit of value from John there on Jubilee Legend.
And his horses in general, I think, have run really well this way.
Yeah. Andy, coming to you.
I don't really have a strong opinion on the race. I thought if changing of the guard, if they get that out in front, Ryan, he likes to set a gallop sometimes, might have a small squeak, but I'm no strong opinion on the race whatsoever.
Is that one of your back-to-lay angles, possibly?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, he does seem to he tried that tactic today, didn't he, on the Meditate, try to stack them all up, didn't he, from the front. Just wonder if he might do that, but I don't know. It's not a race I like. The front end of the market's too short for me to play, and I don't really like any of the others. So it's a race I'm happy to leave alone.
Okie dokie. Davis?
I might try to get the first, if Wokingham runs, I might try to get the first 2 out of the frame and then sort of have a change of the guard, Davil Legend, West Brim blows Com. Get all the front of the guard, all the front of the market totally out of it. You don't know what pile drivers are going to come back. 3 wins, really? And Wokingham, you don't know if it's Wokingham or whatever. No,
fuck them.
Yeah, I might try to get them out of the thing for the city forecast with big prices.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay. So we move on to the Wokingham, where we think there's going to be some kind of high draw bias. I've heard some mutterings today for St. Lawrence at big prices, the Cliff Horse. But Orazio is where I'm at, and Nick's taken me on in the race. Is it, Nick, you've taken me on in the race, haven't you, with Juan Lepin. So, okay, that's mine and Nick's opinion. So what do Andy and John think?
I quite like Orazio. I just don't like the price. I don't like backing at those sorts of prices in these sorts of handicaps. I'm trying to find something amongst the higher draws. I looked at Kanjar, but he was well fancied, was it the Air Gold Cup, wasn't it, last year? But if you look at his form in big fields, it's not all that. So I passed him by, and I kept looking for something drawn high, and I really couldn't find anything that I particularly liked. I must admit, I'm probably going to play a bit of a pass on the race, but unless I can find something at a price that I really like, I say it might have to be St Lawrence and Holly Doyle, but there's nothing in there. I didn't think there was anything apart from maybe Orazio that was ahead of the handicapper.
Interesting. John?
I think there's a small bet at 50s here. Tab Dave. I sometimes like horses for this sort of race where they go to a new trainer and the trainer spends a little while getting their handicap mark sorted out. And that's kind of happened with this one. I mean, it was on 108, I think, when it came to Archie Watson. Anyway, down to 98 now. The only run this year was just a complete blow the cobwebs away job. Taylor Fisher Road, just never at the races. Good at soft ground anyway, wouldn't have been any good. Lights quick round. 50-1.
Has John spotted one? Got beat a short head in the race last year. Off a mark of 100, John. 98 now with skid mark. Highest draw. Could
80,
that be the one?
85 there on Betfair at the moment. It's only £2, but...
As John just highlighted, a big value prospect there. Interesting choice. 5:35 is the Golden Gates handicap. Obviously, my thoughts on Canute are I think this is a group horse in the making. It's been a slow burner, and the price sort of reflects the chance. Zeryab has obviously been heavily supported. This is a very well handicapped horse of 88. I think the market's about right, so it's kind of boring for me. So that's why I declined to bet, because I think the market's just got it spot on. So, Nick Davis, have you thoughts in this?
No, not really any thoughts in this place, to be honest.
No. Andy?
I thought the same as you, really. The market's got it spot on. The kilt horse with Dettori, it just shows you what Dettori does on horses. Is he's actually still holding on to favouritism against two really well handicapped horses in Zeryab, who I believe Hugh Taylor's stuck up, and Canute, who's obviously better than this grade. I like the three horses. If you look at Notbrex's for the Sporran, as I call him, his form is actually really good, isn't it? If you look at the form behind Gregory and even the run last time now behind Chess Piece, it all stacks up. But then you've got, Zeryab and Canute there. I mean, they're all sort of 4-1, 9-2. I mean, the market's got you by the bollocks here, right? Basically, isn't it? There is nothing else. The one in single figures I probably wouldn't back is Lion of War, which is another Sporran horse, isn't it? He's got a terrible, the stable used to have and still has. If you look at the horses he has win handicaps, they hardly ever follow up. There's had some horrendous ones beaten. He had Gone beaten this week. Was it 9-4 on? That got beaten. They hardly ever follow up. It's the whole pattern of that stable is that, they just...
When was the last time he had a handicap winner at Royal Ascot? I can't remember.
Good. I'd have to look it up, Nick. I will inform you later. I shall run it for you and inform you later. But it was a fair while ago. From that sort of stable, because you have to sort of look at the whole stable. But following up in handicaps, he's very, very poor. He's had a load stuffed. There was one stuffed at Ripon last night as well. Although I believe the horse was pulled up, but I mean, there's all sorts of horses here. I'm gonna have to have a very, very small bet on Burdett Road because he's in the live list for BTB at the moment. But he did win last time out and won quite well. But I mean, he's a ridiculous price at 75. I'm not letting that go on Betfair. It was highly unlikely he'll win, but you'd be kicking the cat around if I had one, if that goes and wins. But the front of the market's got this. They've got you by the nuts in this race, and I decline to bet.
Agreed. It's naughty what the books are doing. They're shortening like Cheltenham. That's what they do. They shorten everything, and punters haven't got a clue what they're taking, so they just carry on taking it. But interested about your Burdick Road, Andy. Michael Bell says he put up quite a tidy performance score at Newbury last time, and for what we saw there, we'll be disappointed if he's not at the business end in this. 75.
Well, 75. There's £2 at 75 there at the moment.
Yeah. There you go. Have your 2 notes at 75 and get an M&S shopping bill in with the pate, the old duck, aromatic duck. Yeah. The M&S fruit ain't too bad, and so on and so on. John, what do you think to that? What are we saying on the Golden Gates?
I quite like Laffy.
The Haggis one.
Yeah. Typical Haggis prep, really. He's a 2-year-old. Went to a gaff that probably didn't particularly suit. Second time up to bust the maiden. I wasn't convinced that the soft ground suited. And then I wasn't convinced that the all-weather surface suited the next time in the Derby trial. But I still thought he ran all right. 97's not a gimme, but I think there's a little bit of wiggle room. I think he could end up 105, 108-ish end of the year. He's just about to play for me at the price.
Okay, look, Laffy for John. Personally, I would prefer possibly more giving the ground for Laffy, but yeah, I get where you're coming from, John, in terms of how the shirt operates, how he places them, etc., etc. So I like that. The Alex to finish then, chaps. Obviously, me and Andy have klaxoned Dawn Rising. What will you, John, and Davis be doing during the Queen Alex?
Eating, probably. Strawberries and cream.
To be honest with you, I couldn't look past Dawn Rising.
Yeah, with Brian on. That could seal the meeting for Brian in terms of champion jockey.
He could seal the meeting for us, couldn't he?
He could do. I know Fry wins as well. Yeah, love the Fry. She's so confident on this one, and I agree with her. So we backed it as Bar Stewards. Dawn Rising, the Fry Bar Stewards nap of the week with Brian Moore in the saddle. Right, folks. I think that'll do nicely. We're back on Sunday as usual. Me, John, and Chris talking absolute shit. This is what we do, and we hope you enjoy it. And we hope you back some winners this weekend. Whatever you do, if you decide to listen to our advice or don't, that's up to you. But we hope you've pointed you in the right direction. That's all from me, John, Nick, and Andy. Bye for now.